quickly, the Detroit Lions versus the Chicago Bears. Now, the Detroit Lions finally fired Matt Patricia. I mean, you could see it wasn't working from the first training camp. Good for Detroit just to give him the time. I think they gave him one season too much. I think they should have jettisoned him last year.
You and every Lions fan in existence.
It's like the Chicago. Some ownership is just really too patient with their head coaches. I think Cincinnati's one of them. I think Chicago's one of them who they're playing. Detroit is one of them. They just give them too many. Yeah, I mean, give them too much time. But anyway, beware the team that has an interim head coach because they always play better. So beware. I do not have great projections on any of the Lions outside of maybe their primary receiver this week. However, I think everybody's going to play better. I'm not going to roll the dice on Stafford, but I think Swift is going to get a little bit more touches this week. And yeah, I think we're going to see some passing. Now, Chicago's defense should play better after the butt kicking they got on Sunday Night Football. For the Bears, David, I missed it. Did Trubisky get named the starter?
Oh, yeah, he played.
I know he was the starter. Night. But was Nick Foles injured? Because I just completely missed.
No, he just took over. But he played awful last night, so it's not saying a whole lot.
Yeah, but Trubisky runs, and he always does a little bit better. Like, he's one of my favorite daily fantasy guys because nobody wants him.
He's good for Allen Robinson.
Yeah. So
Robinson had a big game. He hyper-targets him. That's about all it's good for.
I'm not going to say pick up Trubisky and start him, but if you're in a super flex league, you can do worse because of the running, and you're right, Allen Robinson. So those are my guys. Anyway, what do you think, David?
The first time this team played week 1, and the first time they played, Mitchell Trubisky was 20 of 36, 242 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions. So you're not wrong. This is a matchup. If you're that desperate and you want to swing for the fences, I guess. I guess you're a lot bolder and braver than me putting Mitchell Trubisky into your starting lineup, though. I'll tell you that much.
Flex, I would roll the dice if I had to.
It depends what your other QB2 options are.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, you could do worse. On the other side, there's not a whole lot to cover with Detroit. Pretty much, it's you start T.J. Hawkinson, you start DeAndre Swift, and you forget about the rest. First game they played, Adrian Peterson did have 14 carries for 93 yards, so he was decent that first game. He's been involved a little bit less now recently when Swift was active. He obviously got the touches back the past 2 games when Swift was out. But Peterson could maybe get into the end zone. The way to attack Chicago on the ground. Matt Stafford didn't have a terrible game the first time they played. 24-42, 297, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. But again, actually, he didn't have Kenny Golladay in that game, so that was actually a pretty good line without Kenny Golladay.
Okay.
DeAndre Swift also scored in that game. He only had 6 touches, but he got a red zone touch, 3 carries, 8 yards, a touchdown.
That was where he dropped the ball at the end of the game and then got the doghouse.
He almost got the second touchdown. So maybe this will be the revenge game, the redemption game for DeAndre Swift. So, I mean, you got to start him if he plays, regardless of the matchup at this point. I would say DeAndre Swift is matchup proof.
Yep. Agreed. So let me hit you with the line here. Detroit, according to Bovada, plus 3.5 on the road at Chicago. Who do you got?
Give me Chicago.
I'm going to take the team that made the coaching change. They just always have extra juice. I'm going to go with Detroit. I think a weight has been lifted off their just like Houston when they got rid of O'Brien. And Atlanta when they went to Raheem Morris. I mean, I think interim head coaches are 2-0 so far this season. Let's make it 3-0.
The first game of the season?
What's that?
27-23 Chicago.
And it should have been 30-27. I mean, Swift had that ball right there, dropped it. So yeah, we should get some points. It'd be interesting. Let's see. Next game